Good morning. Denise Dryden here out on Bainbridge Island, and again out in front of this fantastic huge redwood. This is one of the oldest trees on the island. There's several of them, but this is one of them, and has withstood so much, and I like sitting in front of it when I have really big stuff to talk about. So last week we spoke about collaboration and how it's an energy signature, and that it's complex, and that it has its own kind of intelligence and its own kind of possibilities, right? So, collaboration isn't a simple concept. It's a really complex, interesting thing to hold. And I introduced the idea of how important it is to feel your own physical, emotional, energetic responses within your system. That these are really key to be able to line yourself up and know when I'm in alignment and when I'm not, and how to lead and love and respond from there with all of your attention. So if you want to review that, go back and look at last week's video. But for this week, what I want to do is I got some feedback from many of you that want to request, like, how do I take this situation into life, into work, into my relationships, into school? So thank you for that. And so I'm gonna take it there and see how it feels to you, right? So collaboration is showing up. It's being awake and attentive and observant, and it's allowing what wants to happen, which is all of me is present, and whatever comes my way, I have confidence that I know what to do with that. And it's releasing your own agenda. So it's really at its core the belief in non-separation, non-competition, and non-judgment. So it's looking at ways to find community, find connectedness, find ways that we can work together. So we live in a world where there's a lot of spaces between people, separation, ranking, competition, and it's always us against the other person. And I'm wondering if collaboration isn't that one thing we can hold on to kind of change all of that. So we see separateness in grades. It started in school. Head of the class, I got this on a grade. I was picked by the teacher for this. A spot on a team or in a play or in something that where there's teamwork or there's a group and you get to be selected. Top of your class. Jobs, salaries, positions. We separate ourselves by the homes we live in, the neighborhoods we choose, the cars we drive, the positions at work that we have. We separate ourselves by our faith. This is my faith, yours is not the same. All of these are intended to keep you focused on yourself against another, against others. So when we find examples of this and we relent the focus on differences, and shift into what is it that we have in common? Where is it that we are cohesive? Where is it that there's resonance? Then we can allow something new to form. And the example I would use is when I was raising my 3 kids. My youngest was in a soccer team, and the coach was honing skills and going for like-mindedness and trying to build the exact same player in everything. And my other child was in a team that was the first year of a high school, and they said, anyone who wants to play on this team, come to this high school and be a part of that. The really interesting thing is that the honing didn't work, but the random sort of eclectic group went to state because they were so unique and so different, and it required collaboration on every level. So the topic for today is collaboration and clarity. And so how do we bring clarity into this? Well, tonight is the full moon, and it's a big moon. It's a blood moon with an eclipse. It's a wolf moon. I mean, you can read up on it. It is huge. And so the full moon represents clarity, who you are and what you want to create. So we have an opportunity on this Sunday, the 20th of January, to put out there what we want in the form of clarity. So clarity is the foundation tool of our future. It's the removal of that sort of sleepy film in your body where it's like, yeah, I just want to go back to sleep. It's clear awareness within our energetic and our physical systems that talk to us and tell us when we're in alignment. And clarity isn't always positive in rainbows. Jennifer Hoffman wrote about clarity this week on Spirit Library. And she said, when you are clear and awake, you see everything. You see the acts of kindness, those that are magnetic, those that are hopeful, those that are optimistic. You also see the dense, dark truths around you. You see when someone is out of integrity. And you also see people react to you when you're holding clarity. They turn into their worst self. So expect that. Know that that's around you. Clarity also shows us our expectations, where we're holding on to something that absolutely has to happen, and we're not able to work with another. We're not realistic, or it's not sustainable. We just want to be right, or we just want to get that promotion, or we want to do something. So not all of us are ready to live in a world where truth is all around us and all of these changes are illuminating. But it does take some time. It just takes some time to get used to being clear, being used to going, oh, there that is, and I'm not going to respond to it. I cannot respond to it. So some of us, I'm going to put myself right there. I've spent decades looking for clarity, looking for wisdom, looking to find out what is it that I can do to wake myself up so that I'm not asleep in this really tumultuous time and I'm ready to do something different. So I'm here and I'm talking about this. And this is the perfect time to hold clarity and to maintain our own inner balance, homeostasis, and collaborate and see what happens, see how we can lead in a different way. So I've been talking for the last couple of weeks, theoretically on these are really important concepts, but let's bring this home into daily life. So let's say you've been married 10, 15 years and you have some kids and you and your partner decide to end your marriage. And rapidly, like that, partner takes off and starts making some really, really bizarre choices, immature choices, things that the kids or you are going, it's really hurtful, I don't understand it, it's kind of out there. So you have clarity that this is how it's always been. This is one of the reasons I'm no longer aligned with this partner, right? So it's like, oh, of course they're going to do that. You can feel that growing information in your body saying, yeah, this is dissonance. I can feel myself becoming more and more separate from this person. And now you get to choose between reacting emotionally out of hurt or fear or blame or shame and making that person wrong or bad for their choices. Or you can deepen your ability to hold your own inner alignment and become the observer so that you can be responsive to what happens. Oh, and then that happened. Oh, and then they did that. And you help witness this with your children, which is, well, looks like they're making an interesting choice right now. If you have a problem with your mom or your dad, whatever parent that might be, why don't you go talk to them so that you're the navigator and the collaborator. So you make the coming together and collaborating and moving on a lot more authentic and easy for the children and for yourself. So you step out of and you manage those emotions that come up when you're angry, hurt, etc. So I'll give you a second option, which is, let's say you have a job that you've enjoyed and you make a good living at it and you have enjoyed the colleagues that you work with. And you see some changes in management and you watch it shift into something that becomes really unhealthy, whether it is mismanagement, whether it is active betrayal, whether it is competition, whether it is shielding, lying, hiding concepts and misleading clients. This is natural. Sometimes it happens when the industry gets competitive, when finances get tight, but that doesn't mean that you don't see it. So you trust your insights and your observations and your assessment. This is actually what's going on and what I see. You gather information without attachment or reaction. Like, okay, I can see them doing that. I can see them doing that. And you focus on keeping your energetic and your physical body system in balance, which is, I'm not going to waver and trigger into shame and blame and anger and hurt and fear. So you dig in and you get strong. And you move through the office like you would in a crowded mall. It's like, oh, those guys are kind of fun. I'm going to go walk over this way. That window looks great. Or you avoid the people that you don't want to have anything to do with. You know, like too many kids in strollers crying. I'm going to walk all the way around that. So you just sort of navigate, right, in and out around what works. And you stay away from what is out of resonance. And you model honest, clear, collaborative conversation with those who will listen. So you always hold the truth, which is, well, that's one way of doing it, and then there's also this, and you play it out. If we do this, this is what we're modeling, this is what we represent, this is why it's important. And you speak the truth at meetings and in appointments and in all opportunities that you have to offer clarity without emotional reaction and without the triggers. And you're not attached to what they do. They're going to do what they're going to do. You just can't be attached to it. And you trust that you will know when you need to leave or stay or ask for a different position in a different area with a different team because you know what lines up for you. Your role is to represent options and invite clarity and collaboration, not to jump in and get triggered with them. So this isn't about taking the high road or the low road. This is about you representing you when you're paying attention, when you're maintaining your own physical and energetic system, when you're collaborating with others, and you use this to create workspaces and education systems and relationships that are fun and growth oriented and healthy, and that they don't focus on separation and competition. So this is creating opportunities for change. That's kind of what we're doing here, right? 2019, full moon, it's all about change. Go for it. You want more information on how to do this? My name is Denise Dryden. You can find me on denisedrydencoaching.com and drop me an email. Give me a call. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.